you're giving it there. So that's where I'm talking. We can help, everything grow by doing things naturally that don't harm anything. They're not killing any biology that exists that's necessary. It's supplying a food source. So that's just, hey, Dave, it's really an amazing thing that we can help these processes. We can help the biology that's growing our plants by giving them the building materials that are necessary, and then they don't have to expend any energy bringing those building materials up through the soil structure into the plant structure to the where the biology is working on that new cell for that stalk or that leaf. We're supplying those, and we're cutting back on energy. So you can look at it as you're uh, setting up a homestead, and you're not going to be going on grid, etc. That's the kind of idea I'm talking about. By doing the foliar, you don't have to attach to the grid and spend money on the power. You're getting it right there and giving it to where it's needed to be without having to have that monthly expense. Is the one of the ways that I can phrase it for you guys. So when you're looking at it in that you know direction, okay, or from that direction, then you're starting to clue in on how things are going to work in everything around you. Because face it, guys, if we're putting stuff on our skin, that's like doing a foliar spray on your plant. What are you putting on your skin? Are you putting chemicals on your skin? Ladies, your makeup, it all soaks into your skin. Are you putting good things on your skin? Are you putting coconut oil on your skin that's going to, help to moisturize? Or are you putting on, a sunscreen that's sucking the moisture out of your flesh, leaving a chemical coating, killing the biology that's needed on your flesh? Yeah, it's like these hand soaps, these cleansers, kills 99% of the bacteria, and I'm gonna cover my hands in it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna cover my face in it, and all the biology that's here that's protecting me from contagions that are in the air. I just killed all that off. Does that make a whole lot of sense? To take out my protection, that everything that's protecting me from bad biology, the stuff we don't want? You guys think about that for a minute. Now, we talk about, it's all about the bottom line. It's all about that dollar number. All these companies that are selling this stuff, they're making millions and millions, and they're spending millions and millions on marketing campaigns, on advertising, telling us that A equals Z, when A doesn't even equal go to B. 1 plus 1 is 3. They're blatantly misrepresenting what is actually happening. And one of the other ones, and I'm going to do a show on this very soon, is on building construction and our values, because you got a really twisted how things have been scientifically manipulated. And it's amazing, because we talk about a lot about this. The truth is out there, and it will set us free. We just got to get through the craziness that's happening. But a lot of this stuff is coming out, just like the biology. The truth about the foundation of life on our planet is getting out there. When we had Dr. James White on and at the last time, and he literally said, yes, it's all about the biology because life is that basic when we allow ourselves to think about it on that basic level. All organic life relies on biology because it's the cell division that the biology is in control of. That is the key. And I know my wife's probably standing upstairs going, oh my God, he's starting to ramble. Okay. When we can take biology, stick it on the outside of the space station, and it freezes over, and then they scrape it off. I think it was 6 months later or 3 months later, bring it in, and the biology starts to come back to life. Biology is pretty tough. It can live in the deepest parts of our ocean. It can live inside of the volcano. It can live at the edge of a volcano at the bottom of the ocean, and fish can live there that we've never seen anywhere else because they can only live there because that's the foundational housing that they need. You got to be looking at some amazing stuff, guys. Mother Nature has created this. We can help her bring life back into our soils, into our lakes, into our streams, into our oceans by following the basic idea of putting biology back where it needs to be. And if we continue as good stewards of the biology, if we become defenders of the biology, and that's if you guys join our YouTube channel, and it's under $5 a month, okay, you become a defender of the biology. We need those defenders out there, not just to help support our channel, but to help support our planet, our species, our future. Our future is following the pattern of giving biology back to the system, creating a biological balance back in both our oceans and our soils, in our air. And one of these days, I know that it's a newer science looking at the biology in the air. There's a wonderful lady. I think she's on the East Coast that, she's just setting up her lab, etc. So eventually we'll get her onto the show and talk about the biology that exists in the air around us. So I tell you guys, every time you breathe, you're breathing in biology. You're also breathing in building blocks that are in the air, that dust that's floating in the air that you're breathing into your lungs. It's actually a lot of that stuff's being broken down by the biology, put into your system, and is feeding your cells and helping you to stay healthy. If you're in a good environment, if you're living in Hong Kong where you can't go outside and breathe the air, you're not going to have as nice of a existence as you would if you're living in, say, Alaska, where the air is crystal clear and clean, and it isn't anymore. You're finding microplastics in Antarctica. Okay, we have to deal with these things. So if we continually bring more biology, more diverse biology back into our systems, back into our lakes and rivers and our soils, the biology can break those plastics down. Okay, literally, Leighton Morrison did a glyphosate. Okay, they destroyed his lawn, his yard while he was on vacation. He came back and he literally did a glyphosate biology where he created the biology that consumes glyphosate okay, sprayed it onto his yard and got rid of all the glyphosate, got rid of all that Roundup, that death, okay? And then he was able to put biology back into his environment. So we can do this on large scale. We can flip a piece of property that's been had Roundup on it for decades. We can literally flip that over in basically a season. Okay, if we put enough of this particular biology that eats the glyphosate, takes the molecule and breaks it apart. Okay, breaks that down, and then it's no longer glyphosate. It's down to its original molecules, its original components, and those components can be used by the biology to build other stuff. Just like, baby, I can build a greenhouse out of 2x2s or 2x4s or 2x6s, then I can tear it down and I can build something else with it. I can build a raised bed out of that material, and I can take that and I can build something else. I can build a beehive, recycling all this stuff. And that's what Mother Nature does with these components, like your glyphosate. She has already accessed the mechanics of breaking this stuff down, because all these components are in nature. When we combine components to make things like glyphosate, all of the base structures, all those base molecules, Mother Nature's already had to deal with all of those different components. She's already got biology that can deal with that. It's a matter of us humans finding that right biology that breaks that down.